Hello, everyone. My name is Hassan Zeidan from Lebanon, um, founder of Al KHIMEA, which is a living presence of mixing being a father, a permaculture designer, and a cook at the same time. And in Lebanon, we are facing a lot of instability and occupation now. So we're gonna talk, me and Azul, about our project as a response to instability, as a response to times of occupation and war. And yeah, we're gonna have a conversation about why we are doing this and how we're gonna do it and what are the values behind uh, this initiative and the bridging that is happening between Lebanon and France. So thank you, and I'll leave you with Azul.
Thanks, Hassan. So yes, I am Azul Thome, and I am sitting in France right now in the mountains. And I was born in Beirut in the 60s, so I'm French Lebanese. And we have created an NGO here in France, an association called Graines des Cendres, Seeds from Ashes. And it was born after the last attacks on the 2nd of March this year. We kept seeing ashes and rubbles, and more villages turned to ashes. And I think it's a whole life of seeing, since childhood, being a child in the war, seeing those ashes. Rubbles, ashes, and I felt quite overwhelmed by bearing witness, because that's to be a soul activist, is to not turn our eyes away, our heart away. We stay witness. And it became quite hard for my heart. So it is a necessity. It's a part of rebellion. Very strong rebellion right now is to believe in life, to have faith in life, to go towards life. And Hassan is a dad, and I'm a grandmother now, and I have a little one somewhere far away, who I'm also doing this for. I want him to know that his grandmother believed and had faith in life. And so that gesture, as both of us permaculturists, to place seeds, liberated seeds, protected seeds, on the ashes, that to me at the moment is the most rebellious action we can do. And whether we water them with our tears or with the water we can find, we still tend to them and protect them. And that to me is like protecting the children of all species. So that's what drives me through the heartaches and the grief and the rage and the disbelief that it's still going on after 51 years. So that's a bit of what I'm with, why. And just talking a little bit more about Hassan and this friendship that has grown so profound for me, so deep and so precious the last couple of years, and especially the last few months when we co-creating this project. So permaculture in times of war is quite paradoxal. It's quite something that, or placing seeds on the ashes, that's also quite, it kind of jolts a bit. It's like, how can both live together? And I love, like in permaculture, the edges of things. This is where there's most life. on the edges of things, in the cracks and in. So I'd love you also, maybe Hassan, to talk about your rebellious heart, and you know, I feel we meet there very strongly and very beautifully with so much love and determination and sumud, you know. So
Mm.
I'd love to carry on this conversation around going to the heart of what we're doing. Um, yeah, why are we doing this?
Thank you for these beautiful words as well.
Shukran.
Um, yeah, why for me, like, since I'm a child, I'm a rebellious, by nature, and um it made me like question everything and travel around with curiosity and question and asking why is this happening and why is this happening and witnessing all the instability that we are living in Lebanon made me think more about sustainable ways to like sustain our life, our being, our emotions, our drive, our life force, you know. And being a father has grounded this in myself, and it gave me a purpose to keep going and to be more firm about what to do and how to do it and how to respond in action, in active uh, process. So for me, like the instability made me experience a lot of destruction and ashes and all this ground where damage can become and transform into life. And this is my way of resisting. This is my way of saying uh, no to control, no to suppression, and yes to like life. And you made me think of the beauty of when you said the cracks and the edges, and you made me think of while traveling between old traditional spaces, and you see the cracks from the stone, and then from these cracks, life is going up through plants, through animals, insects. And this was always, you know, a question for me, like, wow, how this is possible and how this is possible. Now, with all of this witnessing and all of this experience that we have experienced here in Lebanon, it is much needed for me to plant in these cracks and create life from these cracks, from the ashes also, like to transform it into a ground of fertility, into a ground of resilience and sumud in a way. And I love this, it's a poetry for me, it's a storytelling. And also like in these times there is a need for like caring about life and caring about the spirit, especially that we are witnessing a lot of suffering and injustice and not respecting life, not respecting beings, human and non-human beings, to this way of control and this way of suppression leads to and the opposite side leads to a life, a life force that is saying no in a way, that is saying, okay, there is this and we have here this. So for me, this project, Permaculture in Times of War, is more about this kind of care, this kind of protection, this kind of sharing between us, the environment, between us and the community, between all the elements that are existing in our life, and all the stories, all the grounds. So yeah, there is a deep urge to protect this and strengthen it in any way possible, to say no, to say no to destruction, to say no to suppression, and to be sovereign. And when we are there, I believe like we will deal with situations like this in a very different way than we are dealing now. So these are my thoughts.
Thank you. And I went somewhere when you spoke about the cracks and these plants that grow. I've always myself been so captivated about how they grow on very little soil. And in France, there's a word for these plants that grow in the cracks. It's adventice.
Mhm.
It's more than weed. It's not mauvaise herbe. C'est adventice. And the Adventists are, and I like that it's got adventure almost in it, but it's like the Adventists are the one that I saw in Beirut 2 years ago in all the stairs and cracks everywhere, and most of them are medicinal plants. Most of them are medicinal plants, probably all of them, but I don't want to be absolute. But there is something so what I feel is so precious right now is what cannot be taken away from us. And what cannot be taken away from us is our love of life, the way we are in awe of these moments of cracks and plants, how these ancestors that are plants keep coming and showing up, and they come usually very close to where we live because we need these plants. So, and I was thinking of other cracks because we also, I'm part of another thing which is Soul Land that I've created many, many moons ago. And it's a school and sanctuary for the regeneration of soil and soul. And I know that through all this heartache the last few years, that was almost unbearable. Like I thought I wouldn't be able to keep walking or keep standing. A crack, spiritual crack happened. And now I pray twice a day. It's totally mysterious to me. I never knew how to pray. I am guided to pray. And these prayers are a renewing. I renew my pledge every day, twice a day, to be in service to love and life and the children's fire. And the children's fire is a very old tradition of 10,000 years old, to remember that to be humans is to tend and protect the children of all species. That's what we're here for, nothing else. And to be reminded, and I'd love to open with you in this conversation your relationship to prayer, because I know you have a different tradition. Mine is self-made, it's not religious, it's the great mystery, and it's very animistic. My prayers are very animistic, and I, I, I see everything has a soul. My chairs, my computer, everything has a soul, different shapes. So I'd love to pass on this conversation ball. And I really, really, as your friend, want to hear your experience of prayer, if you would. And that would be really precious to me.
Well, prayer for me, like it transformed the definition of prayer through the time. When I was a child, I grew up in a Muslim and Christian environment. So I used to study in a Christian school, and my family comes from a Muslim background. So witnessing the prayers between both cultures um, has taught me a lot, like to open that conversation between you and the high energy, and between you and God, between you and nature. It's a conversation. It's a conversation, and it's a way of communicating humbly, selflessly, and egolessly. So through the time, I also invented my prayer, not in a ritual, in a to follow a certain tradition or not, but it's a way of appreciating life, appreciating beings, appreciating uh, whatever is created around me, you know? And each time it takes a different form, but the intention is to open that channel, is to be part of the whole, is to be in service, is to be humble, is to be like vulnerable, devotional. So I always tell about this, like I take this from here and this from here and this from here and this from here, and this is my prayer, you know. I can pray through Christian rituals. I can pray through Muslim rituals. I can pray through Buddhist, Hindu, you know. For me, it's the same language. It's the same intention to have this channel. So now I pray. I pray while I'm working. I pray while I'm, sleeping. For me, this is the praying part. To when you sit with yourself and appreciate and be grateful and ask forgiveness between you and yourself, between yourself and the other, you know, and being ethical and moral towards all being. So it's a practice for me. I try as much as I can to be conscious about my actions and about what I say, what I feel, what I believe in. And through the action I do, like I call it an active prayer. For example, when I go plant and I go into the land and dig, and for me, this is a prayer. It has a reciprocal relationship between what you're giving and what you're taking from and you're receiving from the land, from the plant, from, the dog, the donkey, so for me, this is my relationship and definition to prayer. It transformed many times, but the intention is still the same, is to be part of the whole and humbly. So thank you for this question, like to put these into the perspective. It's clear to me now also.
Well, it's part of the project, I think. For me, like yeah, the seeds from ashes. Also use the word active prayer. Yes, I use that too. And because it's like Active Hope from Joanna Macy, she wrote this beautiful book of the work that reconnects, is that thing of in action. You and I think, have this in common. We are active people. We feel deeply and also we can act. And I think this is inspiring people already. So here we are about to launch we're launching the association, but also launching in June 3 events to support Lebanon and principally to support the association and to support your project. So you are very present here in France. And I wonder if you want to talk a bit about how does it touch you? What's going on? What's emerging? What's emerging around you at this time in your life? Because sometimes I think about it. I wonder, how do you feel about this? Like 3 months ago, nothing was there, and in 3 months we've created an NGO, and we're launching a whole crowdfunding. There's 3 events happening. There's so much gathering around you, not just you, but what you symbolize. I think you symbolize something that you've already talked about. But I'd love, personally, really, and for the
Mhm.
recording, but to sense about, have you reflected on the last 3 months and what is gathering around you and under you and lifting you up and supporting you? I wonder what you'd like to say about that.
Interesting. We're still in that 3 month, emergence. But yeah, like I reflected on that since we started. And, I remember when you asked me about my dream, and I told you about like what I'm doing is my dream, and to take care of the land, to plant, to grow food, to cook, to co-create and cooperate with the future generation. So, and I explained about alchemia more and more, and it grounded what is alchemia as an entity. So, what emerged from this is to have a strong, uh, strong definition of what is a relationship, for example, what is co-creating, what is rebellious, what is activism. All these started to pop and to have a physical manifestation, and the energy behind it, the energy behind what's emerging is the active hope, is the active process of resisting, of saying uh, yes to life, and also like it's a dance for me. It's a dance coming in shape and motion. Uh, I feel we did a lot in this 3 months. Maybe I reflect more about and through the time. But now I feel grateful and I feel so much gratitude for what we were able to do, especially that what we are facing now in Lebanon, And as I said, my prayer is about action. Also, my well-being is related to action, and especially in these times where I have witnessed many wars since my childhood in Lebanon. With time, like the last escalation in 2024, I took a certain action in like creating a community kitchen with my colleagues. We were living in a community house, and that was our response.
Yeah.
And with this escalation, like it made me more ask deeper questions. It made me more go in depth of how I really can be responding to this situation. And also what created between us, what was created, like to share these elements of what you think about this and what I think about this, and your article about permaculture and my relationship to permaculture. It gave these elements like a grid, like a web, and through this web, it's growing like a mycelium.
Hmm.
So a lot of layers and a lot of dimensions are related to what's emerging from this from these 3 months. Now I feel more certain. I feel more strong and committed to this path because it's a path and it's a long path. Uh, it's a resistance. It's sumud,
Yeah.
Sumud in these times of harsh times. where everything around us is suppressing our energy and telling us, no, do not do this. We are here to control you. We are here uh, to shape the reality in the area. But we say no. We say no, like this is not how uh, we want to shape the reality here because it's different and it was always different and it's gonna keep going differently. Um Taking into consideration the human soul and the tradition, this link between humans and this link between humans and their lands. So it's giving me a sense of belonging in a way. I will resolve this in a belonging title.
That's so beautiful. Well, I think we could start wrapping up for this, and um, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this conversation, whoever's listening, and
Mhm.
that all the links and all the things are below. We're not going to talk too much about the crowdfunding because it's there, but we wanted for you to meet us in really a very casual, comfortable. That's how we talk mostly, actually, together. It's not
Mhm.
we're just being quite real with you, and your support your support is essential. And I just need to say, and I say this to Hassan all the time, we're not asking, we're not begging, and we're not
Mhm.
asking for help as such. My understanding of supporting and solidarity is it does something inside our own heart. I have done activism since I was 14. And when you support something, because we're all connected in this web, it supports your own heart. So we're inviting you, in a way, we're inviting you to join in something that will bring sumud to you. And sumud in Arabic means the sort of steadfastness and endurance and perseverance is my favorite word at the moment for the last few years, because when I feel to fall, I think of that word going, no, 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 just keep going. So inviting you to join this. And if the conversation has touched you somehow, moved you, ignited something, then we need to make this happen for Hassan, for Lebanon, for his daughter, for the children, and because it's Lebanon, because we know Lebanon is like that. It could all fall tomorrow. One of us could die tomorrow. However, it is a I like to say that we live our life as offerings, and I just want to, yeah, I want to say a little thing about a book I wrote of 10 million people walking to Gaza. I could not title it 10 million people walking to Beirut. And people were killed in the front, but they all had like bags of seeds. So when they fell, gardens were planted. And this is the spirit of this project for me. To me, KHIMEA, I cannot count on seeing this forest impeccable and always going to go smooth and, to plans like we did in the 80s in France, for example. It's not the world we live in, but we've already made an impact. We've already planted those seeds in spirit, in the invisible. So join us if you feel like you feel vitalized by this. You have the last word, Hassan, now. You can just say if you have any last word, and then we can say goodbye.
We support life, in every way possible, and this is part of our activism. So this is a seed, and it was planted, and we are watering this seed every day to have this plant, and hopefully this plant will become a tree. well rooted in the soil and, spreading its arms to the sky. So yeah, we this is an open invitation to water the seed and to help this tree grow naturally and have fruits in the end. So thank you. Thank you for being part of this. And thank you, Azul, so much for the support and the friendship and the cooperation and.
I have a tiny last request from you, Hassan. Would you say kind of a blessing in Arabic for this project, like in this language that resonates in your body?
إن شاء الله مشروع مبارك.
Okay, everyone. Well, you're warmly invited to make this happen. So let's gather again soon. Bye.